Start it. Let's
All
go.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first lesson of Society Reformed. Now, Society Reformed is nothing ordinary. All right. You got to understand, we're living in a time of change, of influence, of power. We're living in a pretty pivotal time in history. We have to make sure we're prepared for what's to come. This is Society Reformed.
Cue the intro. All right, so let's tell y'all a little bit about ourselves. So, I'm Roger. This is my fellow
Alex.
We are young men in America trying to figure out what is going on in our society. It's very difficult to try and, figure out what is going on. It's very complicated. There's a lot of different information, so many different medias. What's truth? That's what we're trying to figure out. This is what Society Reformed is all about, the truth, right? We're not going to be perfect. We're only talking about what we've been told, right? So I hope you enjoy the show. It's going to be political. It's going to get dangerous. It's going to get a little crazy, all right? So I hope you enjoy. Share it with your friends. Share it with the homies. Just two homies talking about the world, man.
I like that. All right. Let's just get straight to it. A little bit of background about both Roger and I. All right, we're both 17, still in high school. And you might be wondering to yourself right about now, why should I listen to these two kids? All right, what do they have to offer me? And I just want you to take this with an open mind. All right, the youth is the future of America. Now, I don't know if you've seen the news recently or anything regarding that, but America could use some work. We are here to contribute.
That's right. The youth of today is corrupted in every single aspect you can think of, right?
Exactly.
When it comes down to relationships, young men and young women do not know how to act with each other. They are influenced by pornographic material, by things that influence the mind in very negative ways. I mean, we're just here to voice our opinions. This is what it's about.
Yeah, after years of seeing just, degeneration, all right, we decided that there needs to be a change. Hence the name, Society Reformed. We need to do society over again, especially coming from a generation that is probably one of the most problematic generations to ever touch the face of the earth. All right, you go online these days, and you just see all types of things that will make you question whether or not are we really prepared for what's to come? Are we really prepared for the future? All right, you go out, and these kids are distracted. They're not goal-orientated. This is a very big thing, especially when it comes to college. All right, let's talk about college for a bit.
College.
Now, ever since I was in, I want to say 7th or 8th grade, I've always told myself that I was not going to go to college. All right, and people, especially coming from a family whose parents, college was the only option that took them out of the poverty and situation that they were in. All right, when I first told them that I didn't want to go to college, they almost kicked me out.
Wow.
All right, but after many years of discussion and still ongoing conversation, I think I finally reasoned with them a little bit. Now, let me explain to you why I personally do not want to attend any college or institution like that. All right, number one, pretty obvious. It's a lot of money. All right, it's a big investment, and I don't see the value. I don't see the return. You are working for a degree, spending money for something that's not guaranteed, right? A job. All right, and to me, I feel there are, especially in today's world, with all the technology, all the information, all the opportunities, I just don't see college as an option. Let me tell you something that I've been doing. Over the past couple of months, couple of years, I've been building a personal brand. All right, it starts within. The number one thing that I've learned from Alex Hormozy, who's one of the most influential people that I've listened to, read upon, all right, one of my favorite people to go to when I'm looking lost or anything like that, is that you need to work on yourself before you work on anything you're creating. I got you. So, what's the first thing that you can do to work on yourself?
What's the first thing you can do?
You got to work out. You got to build your image. Not only physically, but mentally as well.
That's right.
All right, so I've been encompassing myself in literature. I've been in the gym. I've been watching podcasts, watching seminars. Anything that I can get my hands on, I've been feeding my brain this information, getting all sorts of perspectives, all sorts of just opinions, different lives that I've seen, that I've heard, stories being told. All of that has led me today to being here in front of you guys right now.
That's right. And to kind of bring a point into this, what else could you be doing that's better than the thing you're doing right now? Think about it. You're reading books. You're working out. You're listening to life-changing podcasts like this one.
I like that.
Right? What's the alternative? Being lazy? Right? No,
That's a good
this is
question.
honest. This
It's a
is
good
just
question.
being honest.
It's a good question.
Right? Like, what else could you be doing right now? That's not the best thing that you can be doing. Right? This is a question y'all have to ask yourselves. Right? I should be studying right now, but instead I'm playing video games. I'm scrolling on Instagram. Okay? It's this idea of reaching your full God-given potential.
I like that. I like that answer a lot. And to go back on that, I want you guys to check your screen time. All right, go to settings, go to screen time, scroll all the way down, see how many hours you've been on your phone today, this week, all right, last week. If that number is something that you're not proud of, that should be a sign. A sign that change is needed.
Nice.
Word up. All right. We are two young men whose minds are orientated in such a way where we do not fit in with the majority. All right. You go out here and you voice your opinion and people think you're weird. They think you're crazy. You're stupid. All right. But we're here to tell you that if you have a thought that you fully believe in, then act on it. All right. When I first decided to go on a podcast, all right, nobody believed me. Until I took action.
That's right. Action is very important when you have goals, right? Because you could talk about it all you want. Talk about it saying that, oh, I'm going to go to the best college in the country, right? And you just talk about it, right? But you need a plan. You need a plan to reach your goals. Okay, this is something that Tate says, Free Tate, you know, he got released from prison today, and he's on house arrest until the end of April, but that's a different discussion, all right? We kind of started talking about college. We kind of went into this little rant, motivational rant. Okay, well, let's go back to college, right?
All right.
College. There's a positive aspect to college, right? And let me tell you about it. So if you go to college, you do your chores for 4 years, all right? Let's say you go to graduate school, you do your chores for 7 to 8 years, right? You have a higher income than the person who does not go to college on average, right? And I would say that the people who don't go to college, right, and the people who become business people, entrepreneurs, start a business, go into the political scene, these people are too smart for college. You have to think about it. Elon Musk is too intelligent to go to college, but that's not the majority. That's 1% of people who do not go to college. I honestly think college is almost, in a sense, corrupt in America because you're spending all this money. And like Alex said, you're not even guaranteed to even pay that off in the next 4 years after you leave college, right? Student loan debt is crippling in America. And you think about it, you look at the rest of the world, right? College is free, essentially. You know, I mean, there's taxes involved, but that's kind of like the negative side of that. But you have to think about how they value education, the value of education, the value of knowledge, right? And when you make college so expensive, you make knowledge undesirable.
You need to say that one again. Man, now that is a very good point. All right. Is college worth the amount of money you're putting in? Is the investment you're making on yourself, is it going to pay off by going to one of these institutions? All right, let me tell you another reason why I don't want to go to college. Something that I've noticed, especially having family gone through college, right, and graduating and having some cousins in college right now, I can tell you personally that a lot of people in college fall into what I like to call the distraction trap. All right, think about it.
Distraction trap.
You're in an environment with like-minded individuals and not necessarily well-orientated, like-minded individuals, right? These are people that love to party. They love to socialize. They love to just congregate amongst themselves. But yet, what are they talking about? It's something that's not leading towards, I guess, something that's not pushing them to be better. All right, they're talking about ideas that hold you back, talking about the next party, talking about some girl. All right, what you guys need to realize is that when you're in your youth, which is right now, I would say 15 to 25. All right, I call that the youth.
That's pretty good.
Those are the foundation years. All right, you need to take hold of your life during these years, because if you don't, it's gonna pass you by. You're gonna end up in a trap. You're gonna be complaining. All right, that is not what you want. You don't want to live a life depending on someone else to give you your paycheck at the end of 2 weeks. All right, that 9 to 5 is not a desirable lifestyle. For some it may be, all right, and that's okay. But you know, if you're like me, like Roger, we want to take hold of our finances, take control of our lives. We don't want it to have it be in the hands of another individual. I don't want the reason why my family suffers is because of some boss that I have to listen to.
Ooh.
All right, I want to be the person who makes the decisions. You have to understand that in this world, there are two types of people: the listeners and the direction givers.
Ooh.
All right, pick which side you want to be on.
That's right.
Because that will affect you for the rest of your life.
And I just want to say this, right? When it comes to school, when it comes to college, what you put in is what you're going to get out, right? So, I mean, you can kind of take that thought into different directions. But I would say the amount of effort you put into life in general is what you're going to get out, right?
No, he makes a good point. All right. Now, there are some benefits to going to college, right? I'm not saying college is a no-go for everybody in this world. That's just simply not the case, right? You can't put a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter formula on the entirety of the population.
There's a fucking airplane.
All right, hopefully that doesn't get in the way.
We're going to have to cut that out. We're going to cut this out. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We got a professional editor from South Korea. He's cooking up some edits over there by Andrew Tate. I'm going to cook up some edits over here.
All right, but
All right, let's continue.
back to what we were saying, all right? If you're going to college to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, an
Honorable.
engineer,
Honorable.
a contributor to society, then by all means, please pursue your career in
Very
that
honorable.
field.
Very honorable careers, right? You are contributing to society at the highest level. I mean, there were no doctors, man, no engineers, nobody to build the roads, nobody to keep the people that are sick from being sick. I mean, come on, these people kind of hold society together, right? Okay, let's switch the topic a little to something else.
All right.
All right, so let's talk about the suppression of opinion. All right, this is a good one. This is gonna get toasty. Get your hand warmers on. No, not your hand warmers. Buckle up.
Buckle up.
All right. Let's go.
We've seen it, and especially now, all right, with this whole cancel culture, all right, people just getting absolutely just suppressed. Nobody wants to voice their true opinion. Okay, and this is not just, your typical hot take. All right, we're going to go deep into this. Why is that? You really have to ask yourself, what is the reason why people aren't being honest with themselves anymore? Why are they letting their thoughts, their opinions, their actions be formed by society? You have to ask yourself, what is their fear? Why are they scared to act how they truly believe? All right, for some, it may be a good thing that they don't act upon their thoughts, right? But for a majority of the people,
That's right.
they don't want to say what they're thinking because they're scared. They're scared of being held to a certain notion that, oh, you're this, you're that. All it is further division.
Ooh.
Think about it.
We can go deep into this, man.
We are.
We can go deep, and we are.
Patrick Bet-David said, if you don't know Patrick Bet-David, he is an entrepreneur, started from the ground up, worth around $400 million right now. He said that every good leader is never afraid to voice their true opinion. All right, and that's true. Think about it. Would you want to be led by someone who is scared of people under them?
Absolutely not.
I mean, it's a reality. You have these people, especially politicians. We can go on about that, but we're gonna stick to the topic. All right, you've seen it. Nobody wants to agree, or nobody wants to go against the society, the agenda held by society. Everyone wants to be a winner. All right, nobody wants to go against the wave. They're afraid of being called out. Their school is going to get emailed by something that they said. They're going to get fired from their job, let go. This is if that doesn't scream problematic to you, then I'm not sure what will.
So I want to talk about this, right? I do not think people understand how dangerous this is to the fabric of society, right? You need opposing arguments. You need different opinions. You need two sides to everything, right? And let's talk about the political parties, right? So Republican people are usually more moral oriented, right? They're more straight going, and Democrats are more, let's say, carefree, charismatic. They're more open to things, right? You need both people. You need both parties to have a harmonious society. And I think the fact that we're at each other's necks right now, it's not just problematic, it's dangerous. It's dangerous to everybody involved.
Yeah, I want to go back on that word that he used, harmonious. All right, what does it mean to be in harmony, to be one with each other? All right, you've seen it. They said it in the case against TikTok. I forgot who it was, but it was one of the senators. He said, Mr. TikTok CEO, for the first time in 50 years or something like that, you've united the two parties. And although he meant that as somewhat as a joke, you kind of have to realize there's some truth behind that. All right, not necessarily regarding the topic that he was talking about, but the parties are divided. And they're divided for a reason. Now, I don't know if we should go into this right now. Right? It's gonna be super deep, but
we have to, man. This is why we started Society Reformed to inform the youth. We're youth ourselves, so we have to inform the youth. So the youth is now informed. Let's hit it.
Why are there two parties? Now you can say, oh, there's Libertarian, the Green Party. Those are irrelevant. Those are filler parties, right? When have you ever heard someone say they align with one of those two parties? You don't, right? Those don't exist. There are two parties for two reasons. Well, for one reason, actually. And it's division. Divide and conquer. Abraham Lincoln, famous quote, "A house divided amongst itself cannot stand." America is divided amongst itself. This is why we are falling as a country. We are actively declining. All right, not only politically, economically, but community as well. The division is something that's it doesn't exist. It's put upon there by these politicians, by these upper individuals, upper in quotations. All right, they're putting this notion on you for a reason. They want you to stay divided. They know that if the people are divided, then their power is reduced. Power to the people, I say. You know, here's what you got to understand. There is a certain agenda being pushed upon you, all right? And if you go into the news, I want you to just read the title of the article that you're seeing, all right? Read the wording, read the diction, look further into it. Why is this worded a certain way? Why is blank said this? Why is it blank this, that? All right? Understand that wording has influence. Words have power. That's right. The way you interpret those words are going to determine a lot. Your thoughts, your actions, how you behave, how you interact. What you have to understand is that we are united under one country, under one body. Yes, it is good to have difference, but what use is it if we make nothing out of it?
Yeah, so to touch on that, I like to listen to Russell Brand, right? He's one of my favorite people to listen to. He talks very fast. You know, he has a lot to say, so he talks really fast in a short amount of time. But I recently watched a video of him dissecting the news about the Russians annihilating a U.S. drone, right? And he was dissecting the news, and he was dissecting the trigger words that they were using, trying to instill fear. Just with a few core words, with a few phrases, they're able to instill fear within you about something that doesn't even matter, right? It's absolutely insane. So you have to be very, very aware. And I know a lot of people don't even tune into the news, right? My parents included. But there are a lot of people who really believe the news.
Guys, the news will tell you what they want you to know. All right, they're not going to tell you what's really happening. I bet you, and to prove this, yesterday I came home and I turned on the TV. Now, if you don't know, the United States is in some trouble right now. All right. We are under a contest between our currency and the Chinese yuan. All right. From a nation called BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. All right. Now, that's a whole different topic for itself, but essentially, I scrolled through as many channels as I could find, and none of them were talking about it. And as big as it is politically, it's as suppressed in the media.
Wow.
And they don't want you to know this for whatever reason, all right? But you know there's a reason. They're talking about things that distract you, that feed your mind. They're plaguing you. They want you. It was talking about Donald Trump's arrest, all right? Now, whether you like him or not, his arrest doesn't affect you in any way whatsoever, all right? It doesn't matter if he gets arrested, if he gets let go. At the end of the day, you're going to live your life how you were living before you heard that news. What matters is what's really happening that's going to affect you. And that's what's happening to the economy right now. If you don't know, Saudi Arabia and Iran just signed a peace treaty after being like rivals for the longest time, and that treaty was brokered by China. Now, if you don't know anything politically, all right, just know that this was a pretty big deal, especially for the United States. Our dollar, the USD, has been the world reserve currency for around 70 years now.
Long time.
Long time. That is now being put in a competition between a foreign currency. And these nations are rising up. They don't want to use the dollar anymore. And the dollar, ever since Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard in 71, we've been backed by nothing but oil. Oof. And the oil is what gave the dollar its value. If the dollar is no longer used for oil, if it's no longer backed by the original value, all right, it's going to go down. It's declining. Now, the dollar it's been at an all-time high in the past 20 years, but recently it's been dropping. Okay, and I'm going to say that I think it's continued to fall. As these countries rise up, as they come and form together, I feel like their power against us is only going to get stronger. This is why we as a society need to come together. We need to put past all the distractions, all the limitations that have been put upon us.
Differences.
Put that aside. Turn to your neighbor. Shake their hand. Give them a hug. All right. This is one country. We are not meant to be divided. All right. This is why sports teams exist. You can support your sports team. All right. But if you're basing your opinion upon somebody because of their political affiliation, please change that narrative. You have to understand that they are still under the same constitution as you. These people live next to you. They live in your state. They live in your country. They are not foreign enemies. These are our neighbors, our brothers, our sisters. What good is it if we turn against them? Our backs cannot be turned against each other. We will get nowhere. We've seen it in the past couple years. Guys, progress is made through unity.
Ooh.
It's made through community.
Nice.
That is impossible if we're so focused on these minor differences between us. Even though you may share a different opinion from somebody, that does not separate you guys physically, mentally. All it is you guys have two different perspectives. And that's okay. But you cannot let that be the deciding factor on whether or not progress is made.
So I would say that the most troubling factor of all of this is that most of these perspectives are very superficial. Right? Most of these people that you disagree with don't even understand why they're disagreeing with you.
That's true.
It's like, why are you disagreeing with me? Give me a topic, like give me a reason why. And then they give you a reason, and then they can't back it up with any evidence whatsoever. Right? So it's kind of like this made up polarization between our citizens. It almost doesn't make sense, right? I mean, America's always been political. Every single country in the world has always been political since the beginning of history. Right? But why now in America is it so polarized, so divided? Right? These are the questions we're answering. These are the questions that we're trying to find the truth for. Right? We're not looking at things superficially anymore. We're diving deep into it. And just look at the iceberg, right? At the top of the iceberg, it's superficial ideologies, right? And at the bottom is the truth. Right? And it's the iceberg at the bottom is always a lot larger than the top. Right? So what we're trying to do here at Society Reformed is find the truth in our society. We're trying to find the road to the truth.
Yeah, you really got to dig deep. Back to what Roger said. There is I don't know what the official name is. I'm just going to call it the monkey banana theory because that's what the analogy was. But essentially, it was 5 monkeys in a room. And I think it was like a ladder or something. But there was a banana at the top. And if a monkey came and he tried to eat the banana, all right, the scientists who were constructing it was an experiment. All right, if he grabbed the banana, the scientists would spray the other monkeys with water guns, all right? So the ones who didn't get the banana would get sprayed. And after time, they would remove each monkey who was the I guess the perpetrator. So they would remove the monkey who ate the banana. And by the end of it, they had monkeys who didn't even know why. I forgot to add that. Each time after the monkeys got sprayed, they would beat up the original monkey. So that monkey number 1 who ate the banana, after the monkeys would get sprayed, after a couple of times, the monkey who ate the banana would get beat up. And then the scientists would remove that monkey and put a new monkey in, a completely uninformed monkey in. And after time, every monkey was completely clean, like a new slate. But continuously, they still beat up the monkey who ate the banana for having no prior motive. They stopped spraying them after a couple of times. So it was just monkeys who were just beating up each other for no reason. And it just goes back to what Roger said. Why? There is no reason to be turning against each other. All right. No one is after you to kill you unless you're like some type of criminal or something. But there's no reason. All right. There's no threat. It does not harm you to go and make friends with someone of different opinions. All right. We are the United States. It's in the name. United.
It's in the name. We've completely forgot about that. We've forgot about our country's founding principles. We've lost our pride in our country. If you ask an American, are you proud to be an American? I would likely put money. I'll put $100 that they say no. All right, and it's a little sad, disappointing, because our country was great. I mean, we still have the greatest economy in the world's ever seen, right? The quality of life in the world has never been better. But it's just sad the way that America's turning out right now.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say, man.
It is a problem. Again, this is the whole reason why we started this podcast, just to voice our thoughts, our opinions, to reform, give change, give a different perspective to the youth. All right. What you have to know is that Roger and I are a part of tomorrow. Oof. All right. We're a generation that's going to be leading when the current working force is retired. We have to carry the legacy that's been set upon us by our ancestors in this country. All right. And without any stating, like, any affiliations, right? Because we're trying to avoid as much bias as possible. We're just giving straight facts, a neutral opinion, just
very neutral,
perspectives.
Very neutral. We're just talking about the information that we receive, and that's it. We're not biased like the news. Mm-hmm. We're not biased like the newspapers or the articles. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to have some type of opinion that is biased, right? Are you a Republican?
I don't do politics.
I'm not. We're apolitical. Okay, we're trying to find the truth, like I said, right? What is the world? Who runs the world? We ask the very basic questions, and then we go from there. What is money? Right? What is the reality of America? What is the reality of the world? What is the reality of politics? Right? We ask these basic questions as a foundation, and then we go from there. Right? We're apolitical. We don't care about politics. It doesn't matter who's president. There's still going to be those people who run.
People in the suits, the black suits.
Let's talk about the people in the suits, right?
Yeah, what you guys have, I'm sure many of you have seen it on TikTok, right, with the whole Rothschilds and all that. All right, what you have to understand is that if the public knows about them, those are most likely not the people who really run the show. All right, those people are the ones that are behind the curtains, behind the closed doors. Those are the ones that making all the world-changing decisions, right? Those are the reason that the system is set in place to be the way it is. If you guys don't know by now, we are in a system. And there's no beating the system. That's just the plain answer to it. But we can navigate it the best way. All right, now that's really what we're trying to address here. Now, it is almost relatively impossible, virtually impossible, to overthrow the people who have been in power for, I guess, the history of whatever it is, right? But here's what we can do. We can learn the system as best we can and play accordingly.
Yep.
It's like chess.
Yes.
All right.
Apply it to chess. Let's go.
Woo! Let's go back to the roots, all right?
Okay, wait. Let me plug a book for y'all. It's called Weapons of Mass Destruction. It talks about the school system, man. Who founded it? The Rockefellers. Okay? Morgan. Right? The people from the 20s. They wanted a certain agenda. They wanted kids to learn a certain thing. It's pretty interesting. You should read it. I still haven't read it. I got the book about 2 years ago. Haven't opened it up yet. But I need to, you know? I need to so I can inform you. Okay? Okay. Continue.
But it's fine. You know what? Let's start with why. Why was the school system created? Especially the way it is. All right. Why is it orientated to not teach anything regarding financial literacy at all? When was the last time you took a class that taught you how to do your taxes? Taught you how to make money without going to a job? Most likely never. All right. That's information that you have to go on your own to receive. And many people don't take that initiative. Again, which is why we're here. All right. One thing that I've learned always from a child is that if you want to make something happen, you have to do it yourself. All right. You cannot depend on other people to make your dreams come true for you. When I think it was like in 6th grade, 7th grade, I came upon a video, and this completely changed my life. It was called I Sued the School System by Prince EA. A very popular video. Many have probably seen it already.
I watched that video too.
That is an amazing video.
Great
Right?
video.
I don't know what that is. That is literally the reason I am here today. That video single-handedly twisted, I flipped the switch. Ever since I saw that video, I began to look at school from a different perspective. All throughout my life before that, I was under the narrative that school was the only option, was the only way to go, because that's all that I knew. That's all that I was believing, right? But then I took a step back, and I realized, what can this offer me besides a job? All right, you're not going to make investments off of school. They don't teach you that. You're not going to make your network bigger from school, maybe through college or something like that. Maybe that's the only benefit of it, probably. But besides that, you're there learning this just monotonous information, stuff you don't even retain the day after, the week after. I can't even tell you, and I pay attention in school, right? I'm still a good student, 4.2 GPA, all that. I don't remember what I learned a month ago. Right? It's just like that, gone.
4.3.
Oh, all right. No need to flex. Either way, what I'm saying is the majority of information that I apply in my day-to-day life, I have learned outside of a classroom. Whether that be through YouTube, through real-life experiences, through connections, all of that has come from something that was not within a school setting. All right. There is a reason for that. The whole reason the school system was put in place was to create a working class, a generation full of closed-minded individuals that are told to think and act a certain way. There's a reason you guys sit in rows, raise your hand, are told when you can and cannot speak. And this starts from a young age. It starts from
6 years old in kindergarten.
6 years old
or
in kindergarten.
Unless you go to pre-K, right?
Pre-K.
5 years old, maybe 4 years old, right? I mean, you have to think about it like this. They want to separate the children from the parents, so the parents cannot influence them, but now they're being influenced by the system, right? They're not with the parents anymore. This is how it used to be ever since before 1920, right? Before the school system actually started getting some traction, right? The kids would be on the farm with the parents, and the parents would have full control over the kids and full influence over them, right? But now the kids are being influenced by an outside source at the age of 6 to 18 and beyond. And it's gotten so bad that the parents are now being influenced by an outside source, right? So it's the system wanting to take away the idea of family. I think it starts there. And what we've seen lately, we can kind of apply this to society now. It's the whole idea of a family, right? It's not even comprehensible anymore. Just think about the birth rates dropping. They've been dropping.
Yeah, no. So to add on to that, I want you guys to realize what is the system we're talking about. All right. Now, the system can be interpreted in many ways, but I just want you to understand that it is a one-size-fits-all formula that they're pushing onto you. There's a reason. It's a grading scale reduced to letters. A, B, C, D, F. not only does that reduce one to a piece of paper, a letter from the alphabet, but it affects them mentally. People let their lives be influenced by what they see, by how they perform in a classroom setting. Now, the classroom does not teach you what you know. It teaches you what it wants you to know. It teaches you how to think. If you fail, the classroom will tell you that you are a failure. You identify with your actions. All right. Real life will tell you if you fail, you can try again. All right. What you have to understand is that failure is not a loss if you learn from it. School does not teach you that. School will tell you you get an F. That's it. Sometimes grade corrections, whatever. But you don't gain anything from that. All right. I don't know. There's a very popular story about the one young guy who got the wrong letter from the SAT. All right. Really scored like a 700, received a note. He got a 1500 on accident. All right. He led his life believing that he was a 1500 student, when in actuality he was an 800 student or 700 student, whatever. But the essence of the story is that so many people are letting their lives be directed by something that they know is not of them.
Ooh.
They know that what you know inside of you is not being shown. It's not being brought out in the classroom. Let's take it back to kindergarten. Kindergarten. All right. Kinder, I think it comes from a German word, means to bring out, bring forth. Bring forth the creativity, the thoughts, the innovations, the leaders of tomorrow. That is not what's happening anymore. Kindergarten used to be a place of growth. It used to be a place of nourishment. And now, my sister's in kindergarten. She has to get a tutor for math. Are you a tutor for math in kindergarten? When I was in kindergarten, I slept all day. Okay, and I loved it. If I had to get a tutor in kindergarten, that's just like a 6-year-old who because they're not on level, quote unquote, with their classmates, and being told that they need a tutor. A tutor should not even come in the picture until maybe middle school at max, right?
Yes. What's even crazier are these crazy radical gender ideologues that are influencing your little sisters and your children that are 6 years old, telling them that they could be drag queens, they could change their gender, and this stuff. It's reality. I think we have to take it back to the roots, right? It is reality. This isn't some type of fallacy, some fable, some story. This is what's happening. You see it all over our country. You see it in Canada, and you see it in Great Britain, right? It's the Western world is crumbling because we cannot identify what
who we are.
We cannot come to a common ground of what is real, right? We cannot come to a common ground. People are changing the definition of words in real time. And so you cannot argue with somebody who thinks that they're a girl, right? It's about to get political.
When we told you this podcast was going to get spicy, all right, we were not lying.
Right.
All right, these are the takes that nobody wants to say.
But it's true.
And
it's true.
A lot of the people probably don't agree with this, all right?
Okay, that's fine. Right? It's
we're
free
not
speech.
here to be scared of people, all right? We're just voicing our opinions. Again, these are just our opinions.
Hear me out. You cannot argue with somebody who thinks that they're a male and they're biologically female. You cannot argue with them because their definition of what it is to be a male is completely different than yours. Ooh. That's what I'm trying to get at. The definitions have been I
like that. They've been manipulated.
I
like that.
In real time.
All right, guys. Now,
real time.
I'm not one to force my belief upon anyone.
Absolutely not.
I will say this. I am a firm believer in that what you are at birth is who you are for life, right?
Biologically.
And,
of course,
again, coming from a background, all right, especially a man of faith, it just goes against what I believe. It goes against my values, my morals, all right? There is a reason you were born in the body you were put in, all right? Your purpose has somewhat of an influence on that. All right, if I were to go out and say that I am something that I'm not, I feel like it takes away from what God wanted me to be. And that can go deep. All right. Should we go there?
Let me make a point real quick.
All right.
I saw a Joe Rogan podcast with a woman, a man first who was in the Navy and then transitioned into a woman, right? Although I think biologically that's how it's supposed to be. there are a very few selected people who truly, deep in their hearts and their souls, think that they're not supposed to be that gender, right? That's a very few minority. But I think it's kind of been, like, what's the word that's bigger? Like
it's been normalized.
It's been not just normalized, but it's been like, there's a word for it, right? But it's so much more common now because it's almost like
it's been popularized.
It's been almost, but there's a few people out there who truly feel different than their actual gender. That's a very few amount. Few amount.
And again, this is only just causing more division between people.
That's right.
All right. Now, we have to go back. When did this all start?
When?
I believe it started during quarantine, when people were left to themselves with no interaction. And what they had was TikTok. All right, we could talk about that for a little bit. However, I want to go back to the root of the problem. All right. Now, there's nothing wrong with exploring yourself, but my problem comes when it's taken to an extreme.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. Let's hear you out.
Let's hear me out.
Let's hear you out.
It's going to get spicy. Okay. There are certain things in this world that are not meant to be changed.
Oof. Okay. Identity
can be stirred a different direction, but it should not reverse on itself.
Ooh.
All right. If you are born a certain way, you are meant to live a certain life.
Okay.
Now that is not meant to be taken in like, born poor, die poor, right?
Gender roles, I think, is what he's trying to get at.
All right. There is a reason. Everyone is listening. I want you to know that there is a reason you are who you are. All right. There should not be a need to. I feel like, again, back to what we were saying earlier in the podcast, so much influence has been pushed upon people by society. They are afraid to, I guess, not be themselves. They are afraid to, be themselves. They feel like, and then a lot of people want to fit in with the norm, all right? They want to fit in with what's popular right now. You've seen it online, all right? And what's problematic about it, and there's nothing wrong, right? But what's problematic, where it gets problematic, is that people are condemned for not agreeing with this, I guess, new lifestyle.
Yes. I think that if you just let people do what they want to do, right, it would be a lot better. It would be a lot nicer world. We're going to cut that out.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to see that stuttering on the podcast.
All right.
All right. Okay. I traveled to Amsterdam last summer, and I saw many different people, right? But the thing about Amsterdam is that everybody minded their own business, right? People here are at each other's necks like there's no tomorrow, man. Just let people do whatever they want to do, in a sense, right? You might disagree with it morally or ethically, right? But you should let people. I think that's the best way to go about things, is to let people do what they want to do at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it doesn't affect you what somebody else does, all right? Unless it directly influences you, like physically or something.
Yes, but emotionally, physically, that's a different story. But we're just saying a random citizen in the country.
If they have something that you don't agree with on a moral basis,
that doesn't hurt society.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
That doesn't hurt society.
The whole point is to be one, especially now, guys. Now is the time to really come together as a country. If you haven't seen it now, we are under a attack from foreign nations, BRICS. All right. If you haven't read upon that, I would highly suggest just looking it up in your phone. Go to Google, type in BRICS. All right. You'll get a bunch of information on things that are happening with that. It's pretty big. All right. And with that happening, if us as a society are collectively fighting each other and just everyone's like, no one can agree upon something, then you know how easy it is to just be taken over, be overcome by people who have their act together. You know, their ducks in a row. Everything's straight. All right. If we are messed up, like at the root, we are so. Oh my gosh. I got that. My gosh, it's in my throat. If we are shaky at the core, it's so easy to just be taken over and just toppled over. Guys, it's a decline. We have to fix it.
It's, the things that we're talking about and dealing with are very complex. They're multi-layered. I would say there's about 5 to 10 layers to each topic that we're talking about. There's so many different aspects and different ways to look at it, different perspectives to look at what we're talking about. I mean, it's very difficult, like I said in the very, very beginning, that we're trying to navigate. It's like trying to navigate through the waters, through the ocean, right? It's like you're going in circles almost, right? We're going in circles. We need to go straight towards the destination of salvation, right? We need to go straight. We just need to figure out things, okay? And I think our country is very unstable right now. It's almost like, okay, if you go on social media right now, our president is being made fun of. No respect towards him at all. We've had no respect towards our president since Obama. Since 2012. It's been 10 years. 2016. I'm sorry. 7 years. Right? I would say the polarization started a little bit before quarantine. I would say maybe 2016 is when the mass media, the deep state, is what Trump calls it. The mass media started polarizing the mass. Right? Hence mass media. Because, I mean, everybody sees it, man. It's the most popular news in the world. Not in the world. Okay, that's kind of a stretch.
For the country.
But you can say the country, right? So everybody, it's like this. You have so many different perspectives being thrown at you on social media. You don't even know what to think, right? So we're here. We're trying to gather all the different perspectives and trying to just give it into one. We're trying to. It's such a complicated issue. It's so polarized, right? If we say something that you didn't like, you probably got so angry. I'm not even kidding. At the fact that we came to a civilized opinion, right? And it's just, we hope to have guests on who are very educated, millionaires, authors, people of mass influence,
people of all different backgrounds. Right?
That's right, all different backgrounds, because that's what America is. It's a what's it called? A melting pot.
It is a melting pot.
If you go to Europe, if you go to France, just a bunch of French people, maybe a little bit of Peruvians. All right. America is one of the only countries in the world that accepts all people.
Yeah.
All right. We think we're racist. Come on. It's a little sad. It's kind of the reality, you know. Like if you go to China and you're a white person, you're gonna get your legs chopped off. Okay,
guys.
But we are very. I mean, I don't want to talk like just say it like that. Very superficially. I'm just making a comment.
Yeah.
On I mean, I know it's so much cheaper than that. Like we can go into critical race theory. We can get Ben Shapiro on here.
Yeah.
We can get yeah.
But again, it goes back to the root. All right, and there's a saying that goes, "No wind is favorable to a sailor who does not know what port he is destined for," or something along those lines, right? What this means, right? In the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by Stephen Covey, one of them says, begin with the end in mind.
Woo!
Us as a society, we have no goal. What are we aiming for?
Self-destruction. That's what it looks like.
No, these are the questions you really have to ask yourself. All right, especially personally, family-wise, business-wise. Please begin with the end in mind. It'll make your journey so much easier. If you know where you are headed, you can start there and work backwards. It is so much easier to navigate a lifestyle where you know where you want to end up versus just, I guess, flowing through the water.
Like Forrest Gump. All right, feather in the wind. Right? You need to have some direction in your life.
Yeah.
All right, it's about to get inspirational.
Really take hold. All right. I want you guys, if you've been kind of disregarding everything we've said in the past hour or so, really listen now.
Listen
all right.
to this.
You are in control of your life. All right. Whether you are affected by an outside factor, whether something happens, a loss, so you get injured, you get sick. All right. I'm kind of sick right now. I'm just cut that out. All right. Let's start again.
Cut that shit out.
You are in control of your life.
That's right.
All right. I want you to know that you have a vision in your mind, even if you haven't realized it yet. If you are feeling lost, just know that there is an opportunity somewhere out there that is waiting for you. It has your name written on there. You are destined to cross that path somewhere down the line.
That's right.
You need to take action. You need to go ahead and take that first step.
Mm-hmm.
The first way to fail is by not even trying.
Oof.
If you have something that you've been thinking of, you've been dreaming of all your life, and you haven't taken any action towards it, or you've given up, that is the reason why you are in this position right now, right? Let's go back on it. Oh, I'm congested. Either way, all right. Guys, failure is the number one setback for everybody who has ever lived, all right? But not just failure. It is failing and not continuing to rise up again.
That's right.
All right. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Listen.
Talk about it.
If you fail, learn from it, pick yourself back up, and walk further. All right. You can get set back, but if you push further, you did not lose anything.
Do not put psychological walls in front of you. All right? You're capable of everything. You're capable of anything you want. Right? Damn, I was going to say something. I completely forgot.
Sorry. We need to cut this part out.
Cut it out anyways. What was I going to say? All right. Listen to this. A ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships were built to do.
Ooh.
Okay? Failure is this psychological construct. Failure is a psychological construct that we make in our minds to keep us safe from failing, to make us safe from feeling sad, an emotion, a feeling. All right? It's this barrier that we put in front of ourselves that stops us from becoming our true selves. Okay? You need fear, right? You need to face fear to see what you're truly capable of. And I think that in itself is great enough of a message to do anything you want. Right?
Failure is not the end. Think and Grow Rich. All right.
Ooh.
Very good book.
Great book.
It says that every man must fail.
That's right.
In order to truly succeed. No matter where you are in your life, you will experience a failure somewhere down the line. All right.
Be ready.
Whether you've already done it or whether it is yet to come, you must know that it is bound to happen. Maybe more than once, maybe twice. Maybe it's pretty big. Maybe it takes a toll on your mental health or something. But know that there is something to get out of it. No matter how dire of a situation you are put in because of it, know that it is there. You must grow from that. There's all these excuses you can put out, but really, it just comes to how hard are you willing to work. Work to get those goals, those dreams, those visions you have. Do not let them die. There is one life, and you do not know if you will wake up and see tomorrow.
That's right.
Many people live their lives with the security, with the illusion of thinking that tomorrow is promised.
Ooh.
Tomorrow is never promised.
That's right.
You do not know when anything can happen. You must take action now. There is a story. Well, I'm going to make a story, right? Picture this. Imagine this. I want you to close your eyes and imagine this. Imagine a man. We'll call him Todd or whatever.
Todd.
All his life, he has talked about wanting to be this great CEO, entrepreneur, change the world, revolutionary, right? But Todd, like many of us, had been influenced by people around him. He let his thoughts be conformed by society. You can't do that. You'll never succeed, Todd. Just go stick to something normal, all right? Be realistic. Be realistic is what they say.
Ooh.
To Todd, his dreams, he knew that they weren't realistic. But that's what made them his dreams. They are called dreams for a reason. Listen, being realistic is the #1 dream killer in all of humanity. Being realistic is limiting yourself to what your mind says is possible.
That's right.
You do not know if you can do it unless you go out and try. Oh, but I've already tried. Try again. Try until you succeed. When have you heard about... Oh my gosh. When have you heard about the person who has succeeded from stopping after trying once? They don't exist.
Don't exist, man.
Michael Jordan, #1 example. Cut from the team. Everyone said, you're not going anywhere. Greatest player of all time.
The greatest basketball player of all time. Listen to this. This is a thought from Jordan Peterson that I really want to say. Right? He said that a goal a man strive for is to be the strongest man, the strongest person at your parents' funeral.
Mm.
Think about it. You need to be so strong that you're able to be the strongest person at your parents' funeral.
No, it goes deeper than that, right?
It's very
Really,
deep, yes.
guys, if it hasn't clicked by now, you have one opportunity to make your dreams a reality. All right, be realistic. What is realism?
Ooh.
What is your definition of being realistic? Because for many people, it is an average lifestyle. They think to them, they have self-doubt. They do not believe in, they do not respect themselves enough to go out and pursue their dreams. You must have discipline, self-respect. You must know that your family, those around you, you are there. You are the pivotal person in your genealogy.
Woo!
You must act on that. You are here in this world to make a difference.
That's right.
Act on those visions. Act on those dreams. Take action. Take that first step. No matter if the path is dark, no matter if you're blindfolded, no matter if you think you're stepping backwards, stepping sideways, you're off track. As long as you take that first step, you're already on the right path.
That's right. And I want to touch on self-image, right? Self-image is very important. I don't think people understand this. If you view yourself as someone who is unlucky, who is sad all the time, depressed, someone who's unenergetic, someone who's unathletic, someone who's weak, that's how you're going to act, because that's how you view yourself, and your actions correlate with how you view yourself. I mean, let's say if I view myself as a reader, right? I'm just going to read. This is like, y'all should read, what's that habit book called? The habit one?
Atomic Habits?
Atomic Habits, right? The first chapter is about the best way to change your habits to being productive is to change your self-image, your self-identity, right? Because it's easy to go out and run for 2 weeks every day at 5 a.m., right? But then it's going to stop, right? But if you view yourself as a runner, it changes, right? So the self-image is very important. I think if you walk around thinking that you're the best version of yourself, you're walking around living according to God, living according to what you deem acceptable for yourself. I think that's one of the best feelings ever, when you know that you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. You're not complaining about it. You view yourself as a warrior or as a queen, right? Mm-hmm. It's absolutely beautiful. The self-image is, if you think that you're a child of God, all right, let's get religious for a little bit.
All right, I'm there. I'm that man of faith. I'm there.
If you think you're this divine human being, that you have some sort of divinity within you, you live differently. You wake up every single day in this graceful state, right? If you view yourself as someone who wins, someone who is able to get over anything, someone who doesn't stop when somebody tells them no, you see yourself as resilient. You see yourself as someone who is capable of the impossible. I mean, self-image is very important.
Yeah, let's talk David and Goliath for a second. All right, for those of you who don't know, David and Goliath is a story about this little feeble boy who's going up against this huge giant, pretty much. And everyone thinks that this giant is going to wipe the floor with this kid, right? Just one shot and he's gone. David knew who he was. He went into that battle with the identity of a champion, with the winner. And he came out just so.
That's right.
Listen, Philippians 4:13, all right? I can do all things through he who strengthens me. Now, guys, what you have to understand is that this is not saying that, you can go and conquer, become trillionaire CEO. No, it's saying that whatever you are in, you are empowered by a being that is greater than you. If you know who is behind you, there is no need to fear what's in front of you.
That's right. The man who fears God is the most feared man by all mortals. Right? If the only thing you fear is God, you're able to face anything.
You are a powerful being.
You're the most powerful being. The most powerful man you can think of is a man who's not afraid to lose anything. Who's willing to put everything on the line. Same thing for a woman. The most powerful woman you could think of is the one who's not afraid to lose anything.
Yep.
Right? I feel like lately we've been talking a lot about men. Well, let's talk about
All right, we're back.
We're back. We had a little short break.
Technical difficulties,
Commercial
but
break.
getting back where we started, right? You have to understand this too. Whether you believe in scripture or not, I just want you to understand that there is no risk of putting your faith in God. All right. As a man of faith, I am called to prophesize and spread the word.
Spread the word, man.
I want you to know that I have never met anybody who has fully pledged themselves to live a life dedicated towards the will of God, and they have failed. I want you to know that when you give everything to God, He will sustain you. Cast your burdens unto the Lord, says Scripture, and He will sustain you. He will not let the righteous be shaken.
Wow.
Every time I'm feeling lost, doubted, self-doubt, anxiety, stressed, straight to God, all right? Because I know that He knows things I don't. He sees He sees my future when I only see my present.
Oh, all right. And I want to dedicate a whole episode to religion, right?
We're going to do that in the future, right?
I have some very interesting opinions that you might even disagree with.
Hey,
okay?
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
So I want to dedicate an entire episode to this topic of religion, scripture, and different religions as well.
All right, yeah.
So we're going to give a little closure. All right, this is the first episode.
First episode.
Ever of Society Reformed.
First episode of many, all right? Might even get some guests on here in the future.
Hopefully.
You know, hey, we don't know what's to come, all right? But what we do know is that we're here now. We took action, and
it's not perfect. It was very shaky. It was not smooth.
The only way from here is up, so.
That's right. So we want to end with a Bible verse.
We do.
Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We hope that you enjoyed. Hope that you got something out of it. Maybe learned a little bit, gained a new perspective. Maybe you lived your tomorrow from a different lens.
That's right.
All right.
And we hope we give you the courage to have conversations with people, true conversations about any topic. No topic is left off the table.
No stone is left unturned.
That's right.
All right. We are here. Open-minded is what we go into with this. All right. We know that there are many different opinions around the world.
That's right.
We're here to unite all those together.
Woo!
Guys, again, thank you for listening. And with that, that's it.
Assalamu alaikum. See you later.